Oh, good evening and welcome to the post-mortem. It was a very ordinary night. Um, Actually, it was bitterly disappointing, really. I mean, the horses we went for just didn't fire. Virtually none of them. First race, Diamond Angel sat outside the lead. And this was the pattern for the whole night. Very unusual. I can't remember the last time they were front running on the A course. They probably do it once or twice a season, but tonight the bias was just murder. If you weren't in the first 4 or 5 of the 400, you virtually had no hope. Only one horse came from the back of the field, and that was Pleasure Gains. The rest of them, virtually the first 4 around the corner, filled the placings, and that sort of, excuse me, resulted in some big price things winning during the night because they sat third on the rails behind the lead and then just angled out and virtually got over the line. The big pot's all jackpotted. TT's jackpotted, 6 Up jackpotted. They all go to next Wednesday on the all-weather track at Sha Tin. So we've got two big jackpots there, and then we've got a jackpot on Saturday. Race 1, Young Supreme sat on the speed. Diamond Angel went to the front. They let it bowl along. It angled out coming to the middle of the track, coming around the corner, and it was just too strong. Flying Keeper, Young Supreme, and Splendid Guy, they were sort of right there on the speed coming around the corner and filled the placings. Nothing made any ground from the back of the field. Serendipity sat 3 wide outside the lead, so it had no hope. Written like that. It was a pretty ordinary race. Race 3, same sort of scenario here. Excuse me. Ambassadorship sat a lot closer than it normally does. It angled up 4th and 5th in the run in the moving line. It had covered a long way out. Hong Kong Dancer, it sat 2nd and 3rd on the rails and it fell into 3rd place. The run of the race was Red Dancer because it was last coming around the corner and ran home very strongly late, but it was never troubling the winner. It's got beaten 2 or 3 lengths. Of the rest, Holy Mac came from a long way back. The rest of them, not much can be said. It was a very slow run race. They ran 7 or 8 lengths outside standard, so it was a pretty ordinary run. Race 4, the first 2 coming around the corner, they fought it out. Flame Hero went to the front, got attacked, kicked coming into the straight. Perfect Moment sat right behind it and sort of came across its heels and ran it down very late. Good Luck Win, which there was big money for, went forward and sat outside the lead, but it was gone coming around the corner. Better on the dirt for it. King Arata's Son ran on well, so did Master Gunner, but they were all a fair way away. Easy Gold was a little bit unlucky, this horse. He settled midfield and then he got shuffled back at a critical stage and then he was winding up quite nicely late. I mean, he was never going to run a place, but he's only got beaten 3 lengths, 2 lengths out of the placings. Might have been interesting if he'd have been able to hold his ground in that mid-race section. The other one we went for, Nico, it's not up to these, needs class 5, so we wait for it. Can't really say too much about the beaten division. They were well beaten. Hearts Keeper and Ocean Roar in race 5. Ocean Roar went to the front, went a little bit too hard early. Hearts Keeper sat on the rails right behind it, angled out in the last couple of hundred, got past it close to home. First time the horse has ever won first up in its life. First time it's ever won on a grass track. All its form's been on all weather tracks, so that was something, sort of knocked most of them out. Sight Lover came from a mile away and ran 3rd. Bolero did the same. It ran on strongly. Brave Brother was maybe a little bit unlucky. Got a bad check at around the 250 just as he was gathering a bit of momentum. He protested against something that finished in front of him and got upheld, but was never threatening the place getters. But had it got a completely uninterrupted run, might have been interesting. Race 6. Excuse me. Same scenario here. The horse that sat 3rd on the rails, he just waited. The front runner, Hawthorn, it can't run 1200, never has been able to. It's a 1,000-metre horse. He waited for it to give it away, angled off its heels and went past it, went to the front. Schnitzel Kid ran on strongly and Pretty One ran on strongly. Of the rest, My Goal, Steady Run. The run of the race was a first starter, Yi Chong Star, which came flying home from last along the rails. That was a pretty decent effort, this sort of level. Race 7, the top weight Pleasure Gains. He went back to near last. This is the only horse on the entire night to make any ground from the back of the field and actually win. It was a pretty big effort to win from there. Approved, same sort of scenario. Big Ruffy sat second on the rails, angled out in the straight and held its ground late. And Supreme Essence came with Pleasure Gains and ran third. Of the rest, not much could be said about them. Bullish Boy didn't get the suck run in front like it did last time when it cost us. This time something went with it and it gave it away coming around the corner. Flying Elite, it was fairly ordinary. Looked like it needed the hit out. In the last race, we had 3 alive coming into the last for consolation, which actually paid quite a big dividend. Nearly 30,000, which would have been quite handy. I think we were coming up for 1.6 units or something. And we had the QQPs coming with them. President Lincoln missed a kick. Then he rode it hard along the rails. Never really in the hunt. It's got beaten 5 or 6 lengths, but it was never ever going to play a part once it missed the start. Lost all advantage of the barrier. Perfect Cheers never got to the front like everyone expected it to. And that was the end of it. Flying Unicorn, it sat outside them, battled in the straight. It was very heavily backed. The winner settled midfield and made steady ground into the straight and closed nicely. Jada Dream was ridden up on the speed and it ran on quite well. And Mr. Medici, the old fella, he's racing really well. Lucky Forever was probably the run of the race, settled at the back of the field and come flying home late. Not much could be said about the beaten division. Overall, really disappointing night. As I say, there's no excuses. The horses ran bad. We had a decent go at quite a few of them and they let us down. We move on now. We go to next week. I did get a couple of emails during the week. You know, we've probably had a, I don't know, losing run of 20 odd now. Last season into this season. Somebody wanted to know if it was a record. Just so that you know, guys, no, it's not even close. The worst run we ever had, I think we went 46 meetings or something with red figures. And like I explained to someone, ironically, that year was the year that we had one of our biggest years because we hit 2 big ones very late. So it's very early in the season. We've been in this position more times than I care to remember. It's not an unusual position. Just so you've got a bit of a guideline, we're probably about 400,000 or 500,000 better off this time at this stage this season in comparison to the same position same time last season. We're still losing, but we're losing half what we were losing last year. And with a few jackpots coming up, we just wait and bide our time. For those that have been with us for quite a few years, you've all been through it. For those that have been with us for the first time, I can understand the anxiety. No one suffers it more than me because I do a fair bit of work, and it's always very bitterly disappointing at the end of the night when things don't pan out the way we think they're going to pan out. But I just keep going forward. I don't change anything. We work to the strategy that we've got in play, and we wait for our turn. When that turn's going to come, we don't know, but we don't waver from our approach. And like I say, those that have been with us for 5, 6, 7 years, they've been through this turmoil before. They know what it's all about. For the new guys, sorry you've got to go through it, guys, but unfortunately it's part and parcel of the approach that we've got. We do play high volatile attacking modes, so the strike rate's never great, but it doesn't need to be. So stick with us, keep your spirits high, and the time is coming. On the weekend, we've got the Spring Attack and Sha Tin on Saturday. I've posted up on the review page. I'll do the Caulfield, or I'll do the Spring Attack preview probably Thursday night. I've had a preliminary look. Don't like the meeting. I think it's rubbish. The Toorak looks the only reasonable betting race. The Sydney meeting's garbage. 3-year-old race over ground and a couple of shitpot races. Caulfield, actually, for such a major day, or supposed major day, it's actually quite a disappointing card that they put together. So, excuse me. But we'll have a closer look at it. As I say, the Toorak looks a reasonable betting race. Maybe a quadrella, certainly a pick 4 and a trifecta probably in the Toorak. And we wait Caulfield Cup Day, and there's obviously a lot of big racing still to come, so it's very early days. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll be doing the previews, as I say, Thursday night and Friday. They'll be all up by Friday night. Have a good week.